I'm going to share the screen. There we are. Can you guys see my screen? Yes? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so what I want to show you is I created this poster yesterday for a student, actually, as an inspiration. It was a student that was a little bit lost about what to put in undead was the word. And it is a tough word, huh? And I don't know if this is that great. I know it's probably not, but it was the end of the day and I was at the end of my rope. But I thought I would slap together a bunch of images and show him, hey, look, you can do this or this. And I had actually a couple of options. This was one of the two. But the reason why I'm pulling it out is because one of the things I also have here is this layer right here. Do you see that? And it's not bad because it could create a diagonal, composition. I was very torn if putting it there or not. I got it out and then I got it back in. But another thing I did not like very much is the color right here is very kind of it's not talking to this very much. It means I would like this gold to be more gold or more yellow or more bright or something that kind of makes a little bit of the counterpart to this. So one way to do this easily is with an adjustment layer. So I'm going to go in my usual spot, the yin yang little symbol in the layer palette, and I'm going to choose hue and saturation, and I'm going to bump up the color in one way or the other. You see, this one makes it more pink, but it also turned this more pink. Do you guys see that? Because why is it doing that? Why is it turning everything more pink? I'm going to go more with this kind of goldish tone. Another thing I can do is obviously change the saturation, bump up the saturation one way or the other. Maybe I want it more kind of gold, more yellow. So I could go in and say, okay, I'm going to make it more kind of on a yellow tone. So I'm actually playing with the color, trying to figure out which one looks good. Okay, this one is not bad. So it has a bit of a goldish to it. This kind of white can go with it. So I could do this, for example. And as I said, it's just one possible. But you might notice that this layer, this adjustment layer right now is affecting also this area. Notice when I turn it on and off how this area here also turned all goldish, right? Look at this. And why is the case? It's because it affects all the layers below. So in a different class, someone asked me, can I have an adjustment layer that affects only the layer, one layer below? Yes, you can. And it's called clipping mask. So if right now I go in here, for example, in between these two layers and I hold Option, you see this weird symbol that shows up? I'm going to do it again, okay? It looks like an arrow with a square. So that is what allows you to create a clipping mask. So right now I'm going to actually bump up the colors of this thing really a lot so that you can see the difference. Otherwise, it's really hard to see the difference. So let's see. I'm actually going to bump up the saturation. I want you to see, oh, there it is. I finally see it here. So I wanted to see something really dramatically different, not just a little different, so that you can see that affects everything. Just not affect the cross, it affects even this layer. You see all these kind of like area up here. If I keep bumping it up, you'll see it even more. I want to show you the difference between having it like this or doing the next step that I do. So let's say I'm happy with this, even though I'm obviously not, but that's okay. So I want to show you, what if I wanted to affect only the skeleton? It means I want this adjustment layer not to change the colors down here. I want it to only change the colors of the layer below. Again, Option, click. Now you see something very strange happening. First of all, your layer adjustment gets kind of like indented. And then it gets this little arrow. And the arrow points to the layer that is really affecting. All of the layers below are not touched. You remember that down here, this was also jacked up with a lot of greenish, goldish stuff, but now it's not anymore. So that's kind of how you can go in and change. Now, obviously, I can go back here and say, okay, this thing is jacked up too much. Now I'm going to bring it back in. And now actually looks pretty good. It means the colors here go pretty nicely together. But I'm just saying, if you want to limit your adjustment layer to only the layer below, you need to Option click. And right now it's not letting me do it because it's already done, right? So it shows a little slash in there. But if you Option click in between the two layers that you want to be connected, it will immediately create this clipping mask so that that adjustment layer affects only the layer below. So that's kind of a neat trick if you find yourself in the conundrum of, oh my goodness, this looks good, but it affects all the layers below and I don't like that. If you want to change that, that's kind of how you do it. All right, I wanted to just show you this beautiful little trick because it can be extremely powerful. I am going to post this, by the way.